This is my first vlog. I just felt like filming, so we're gonna do it. I'm in Porto. I'm getting ready to go for dinner. For about 45 minutes, have been off-putting going to go and get food. Mainly because I'm very tired, I'm quite lethargic. My period's probably coming and I was like, I don't really want to leave, and it's really cozy in here. Yeah, it's a bit rainy in Porto, which I hope that for the rest of the trip it gets a little bit more sunny. I didn't really come here for sun, I came here for chill. Mainly because I realised late on Friday night that, I've known for 2 weeks that I've been burnt out, and this is me trying to take better care of myself. My main aim this year, out of like anything, my major goal for this year was to have a regulated nervous system, because I feel like for a lot of my 20s, I have been living in flight or fight, and we need to change that. I had a bit of a health scare like a few years ago, and the reason it happened was because of severe stress. So we're doing something about that. So I booked my longest solo trip that I've ever done in my life so far. 7 days. So can we hack 7 days of just me? And I'm gonna go upstairs, read my book, get a cocktail, get dinner, and yeah, then have an early night. I actually ended up putting my hair down, so that's the vibe. So, double chin out of picture. It's kind of been a successful day one. I had a massage. I had like a hot stone massage. I basically like went all out today on splurging, and I can't keep going, guys, because I'm not made of money. Ooh, coffee, which means chilling. But I do need to do a bit of work, just like sending out some emails and trying to get a new contract for when I'm back in London. So I'm going to take you along, but for now I'm going to enjoy half an hour of being in bed. I don't know if anybody else is like this, but when I wake up, I just can't wake up and just get straight out of bed. Like I have to wake up, have like a 15-minute flexibility of like getting in and out of bed. But yeah, like my favourite thing to do is to get back in bed with a coffee. Absolute.
For them to scan the back of your eye as well.
So it is now like just gone 10. I was gonna have a very chilled night and go to bed early, but I'm on holiday. It looks so nice outside, like the river is glistening in the light. So I thought that I would go try and find some ice cream. Hopefully somewhere's still open now. And try and sit by the river and contemplate life and my life choices. No, I kind of had a weird day where like all the things that I planned this morning or thought that I was gonna do, I ended up not doing. But I keep reminding myself, like, this is the whole point of a holiday. Like, the whole point is that you're supposed to not really do much. But I ended up having a really nice day. I got a little bit sidetracked after breakfast, just by some stuff that is happening in London, and I was like, no. I am on holiday. I need to get back into relaxation mode. I also had like an incoming inquiry, and I was like, no, don't say that you can work. Don't say that you can work. You're on holiday. So yeah, like, I just had myself a nice glass of wine, and I cooked this evening, although I probably sorry, I shouldn't swear. So mission accomplished. I got a pastel de nata ice cream, and I came back to the hotel. Annoyingly, I only bought one jumper, and this isn't a jumper, it's like a going out top. But it's not actually as warm as I thought it was gonna be. It's a bit chilly. But I just found myself in this little nook, just sat here looking at the view and scheduling some emails for tomorrow morning. It's like my favorite, it's my favorite thing that Google released that saves like every producer, I feel like, ever. Because yeah, I want to have a lie-in tomorrow. It's 11:30 right now, but I hopefully have a job starting on Monday next week. For a client that I've not worked with before, but really cool work, so it will be nice to go back and have something, because I came off a job at the beginning of the year, and I had 2 weeks off, but it really didn't feel like I'd had 2 weeks off, because I think I was so burnt out. It was like quite high intensity, and also like very different work to what I normally do. Not because like I don't like doing design work and 2D work, but it's a very different way of producing, and I'm not in the detail as much. Sort of like why I do what I do, in terms of like I work in 3D production a lot, and I really enjoy it because you are in the weeds a little bit more with the creative team, and there's a little bit more of a like hands-on approach, whereas when you're doing 2D design work, you sort of have to just leave the designers to like get on with it, which you do in 3D, but it's like you're talking a lot more about how things are made and like the process, and there's a lot of moving parts, whereas 2D is sort of just like, okay, this is what we need it to look at, this is the execution, and the team just get on with it. So as a producer, you're sort of a little bit further away from the process. Yeah, so that's just me nerding out to my day job. But this is why I feel like I've wanted to start a channel for so long, because my life is not, I don't work a normal everyday 9 to 5. Yeah, I work in the creative industries, but I also am a Pilates instructor, and I just generally, oh no, I just noticed my book has been creased. Designer nightmare. No, but I just feel like every day at the moment, or since I left my 9 to 5, every day looks different. I mean, hi, it's a new day. It's kind of like technically my last day in this spot. I didn't sleep very well last night. So yeah, I feel like that's sort of like derailed my morning. The plan today is to go for a nice walk, and then I want to come back and work out, because I've not worked out all week, and try and get a decent sleep tonight, because I did sleep, but I just went to bed quite late, and I'm trying to avoid that. So yeah, I'm gonna today have a very chilled one. It's all about the scenic view. I was gonna try and walk to, like, there's a Catholic church that is on the water, and it looked very majestic. And I basically got like maybe like half an hour walk away from where it was, and my phone was on like 5%, and at that point I'd been walking for like 2.5 hours, so I was like, I'm not gonna get stranded here. Not that like I didn't know how to get back here, but I was just kind of like, I don't want to walk like another 2 hours back to the hotel. Like, and I say like it was like a 2-hour like torturous hike. It was not. I stopped along the way at a few different cafes and dipped my feet in the sea. So like I did a whole load of like stuff throughout the day, read my book, journaled, did like so many like things along the way. So it didn't feel like I was walking for 2 and a bit hours. But yeah, I got like half an hour away from it, and I was like, 1, I'm fucking tired. 2, I don't want to be stranded here and have to walk that 2.5 hours back to the hotel. So yeah, I got an Uber back, had a nap, watched a documentary, an interview with Madonna, because she has a new album coming out. Really interesting to see a side of her that I didn't know existed. I'm not a huge Madonna fan. My best friend was obsessed with her sort of like early 2000s 90 erotica era, but I literally just messaged him and he was like, yeah, like he's not here for it, he's not here for the album. So it's like, if he's not down for it, then I trust his judgment, because he's an iconic Madonna fan. But yeah, I leave tomorrow to go to a different side of town. I've got 2 more days in Porto. Yeah, 2 more days technically. I fly on Saturday morning, but it's kind of like that day is just going to be spent traveling. So I've already packed my case. I'm going to go for a swim tomorrow morning, go to the gym, check out late. I need to send my CV off to a few different companies to get some freelance work. I technically might have a job starting on Monday, which is good for 2 months. Kind of a different area of production as well, with somebody I've worked with before. But yeah, actually, considering a few hours ago I was like dipping and I was feeling a bit like, what am I doing? Why did I come on a solo trip? Like, why have I done this? Why have I done that? Why have I made this bad decision? And now I'm going to bed feeling like I actually subtly achieved something today, even though my hair is an absolute fucking mess. But yeah, that's my life. I will see you tomorrow morning, and hopefully these bags will have removed themselves. Really nice hotel actually, that's kind of like in the artsy area of Porto. I booked it mainly because they've got a pool that is outside, although it's not heated. I feel like you're not going to find a heated pool anywhere really in Porto, because it's a city that is really built for summer and peak time, and I am not here at peak time, so you're gonna get about 20 degrees and a pool, which is, I mean, it feels like swimming in Hampstead Heath, which actually has been quite refreshing. But it was kind of a funny thing today where I got to the hotel and I was like, well, the whole point of me booking this hotel is so that I can chill, read my book and lie on a sun lounger, and there was literally like all the sun loungers and no cushions on them, and like there's like 2 waiters or like butlers that are on this floor that I'm on, and they were like, yeah, we can just put them out for you. And I was like, this is crazy to me. Like, I was like, surely they should be out there already. And it literally felt like I called reception to get like my own private butler to come out and put these things out. Even though this hotel is like super cheap, it wasn't expensive. It was like maybe like, I think like £70 a night, which is pretty reasonable, with a pool and a sauna, and they've got a gym as well, so I'm going to check that out tomorrow. Because as we know, going back to what I said in my original video, the whole point of me going on this trip is to regulate my nervous system. And I've realised today, whilst I had my dinner, that the peak period of spending time with yourself is about 5 days. Like, I feel like I can spend 5 days with myself, and that's the point where then I get bored. I get bored, and I was like, oh, I would really love for like one of my friends to be here, or to be here with a partner or family, or which is a really like nice level of self-discovery, I think, because I think then when you get to that bored period, it's like, oh, these are some things that maybe I should change about my life, or things are really not as bad as I think they are. But yeah, I had a real epiphany this evening. I'm just washing my makeup off. Where I was like, actually, my life's pretty jokes. Like, it looks like I have a job that is gonna start on Monday, which is really nice. So I've got a call tomorrow morning to meet who would be my boss with this contract. My friends are like, when are you coming back? And like, how's it all going? Which is really sweet to have friends who like fully support the solo pursuit. So yeah, like, tomorrow is my last day. I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go get breakfast at this spot that I saw just around the corner from the hotel, and then I might try and go to a museum if I can get time tomorrow after this call, or I might just chill and sit by the pool and read my book. So yeah, I had a very like interesting evening of, I went to one of the main parks in Porto that has like an insane view of like the whole city, probably more beautiful than where I was before on the opposite side of the river. Fully recommend, if you go to Porto, to go to this park, because I just went at a perfect time as well, when it was sunsetting. And then I went to a bar that I went to before, and I've never done this before, where I've gone to a bar at peak time by myself and got myself a drink, and basically got sat down next to these two girls who I thought would wanna like have a conversation, and they did for about 5 minutes. But then I got talking to a guy next to me who was maybe like 20 years older than me and leads a very interesting life in Porto. He works for a printer firm and has a shop here, and basically we were just talking about Porto and like how much it's changed, and the history, and just how different London is and London life. And I hear this a lot when you speak to people who live in European countries, that just London doesn't have like a sense of community, in a sense of, it's just such a big city. And any of my other like London friends or people watching this from London will probably say, your friends live like an hour away from you, or at least like 40 minutes. And so like sometimes my commute is like almost an hour. And this guy was like, yeah, literally I live like 10 minutes like down the road, like I just walk to the shop like, and walk back home and like come to the bar like almost every evening, and just like, this is my routine. And I was just like, this is wild to me. Like, imagine finishing work every night and going to the bar that's literally like 10 minutes next to your office, like every night. Like, that's just like, that doesn't happen in London. Like, either you're in the office till really late or you're on the train doing your commute that takes almost an hour to get home, or you work remotely and you just don't see anyone. So I'm currently in the middle of the contemporary park garden. I feel a little bit out of breath. I wasn't expecting this part where I am to be so hilly. But yeah, I had a really nice day today. I woke up, I had a meeting with a new client back in London, which was good. Finally nice to put like a face to a name. So it looks like I have a piece of work that's starting when I get back to London, which is nice, after a few pencils that sort of disappeared. Yeah, I was saying before, this massive tractor came up this path. Yeah, I've had about 4 pencils in the past 2 weeks, and every single one of them has disappeared. And I guess that's just freelance like lifestyle and how it works. And I guess I'm intrigued to see how things go for the rest of the year for me being freelance. I was quite lucky, like I said, that I had 2 contracts that were back to back and I didn't really have to look for anything. And now, yeah, I don't know if it's because it's Q1, it's like a new financial year. But I think it's a really interesting thing for me to document, and for like other people to see who are maybe not freelance, like what it actually is like day to day. So yeah, had this meeting this morning, decided that I wanted to get out of central Porto, so came to the Contemporary Gallery Museum, and this is the beautiful park. There's also like a beautiful lake that was down at the bottom, which is nice. Lots of like blossom trees. It's like a tree walk, which is really cool down there. And I saw some art and some architecture, which was really nice. I feel like I've been inspired, and I feel a little bit less anxious, which is nice. I think just being out in nature, I think I was really hoping from this trip that I would sleep well. And I have slept a lot, but like my sleep consistency hasn't been great. Hence why I probably was feeling anxious. But yeah, this has been today. I am probably going to head back to the hotel and maybe have a glass of wine and have some de-stress time. and maybe go for dinner for my last meal. So I will see you guys out. I have just packed my case. I had a lovely FaceTime with my mum and my brother, and I am just going to pick up some custard tarts because I'm gonna see my brother tomorrow when I get back into London, and he was like, please, you cannot do a disservice of this trip without bringing back some fresh custard tarts, so he is gonna get the joy of that. Let's go Operation Custard Tart.